Just missed my toe. Perfect. Howdy. Welcome to my basement slash catch-all other workout room. This has been the catch-all room for about all winter, and today I'll be trying to reclaim all the space, or at least most of it, so that way we can get the stuff that needs to stay up on shelving and organized, get the floor prepared for more usable workout space, so don't have random nails kicking around. And that's today's project, and this will be that. Oh, and no jump cuts. Can't do the snap the fingers thing, because last time that happened it cost me a day, and this time tomorrow will be in the middle of my work shift. So going to do this the old-fashioned way, and I'll bring you along for some of it, and I'll do the rest while you don't watch. How's that? So I know some of you might be wondering, what's with all the cleaning and organization videos for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5? Since probably 50 Mile March. And to that I just simply have to say, isn't it obvious? My house is a wreck. But more to that topic is, this is the fallout of last 3 or 4 years of having a simple priority, which was pay the house off and get, kind of life established on that regard. And so I certainly didn't stop having hobbies and other pursuits. I mean, I got a table of crap right here, but not having paid the price initially to bring the organization in, I now get to pay the price on the back end, which understood going in, it was the cost of efficiency on the front end, having less expense for startup cost. But now, once you're more established, you got to go back and undo the messes you made along the way. But that's part of the process of it all. Decide what your goal is, take account for your resources, and stay on budget, whether that's investing time or investing finances or whatever resource you have at hand. So yeah, this is just part of that overall process. I made the mess. Now it's time to clean it up. Start investing the time and other resources it'll take to get everything back into a more sustainable order. I've had the request of making a few videos on how I got the house paid off and got through college without debt, and the frugality and practicality of the choices I made and how my life is what it is. So I plan on actually making a couple videos on that topic of a millennial's guide on how to survive college without debt. So that'll be, that's anyone who's known me for any amount of time. Painfully pragmatic is something that can quite accurately describe me. If it works, I'll do it. If it doesn't, I won't. Even if it hurts. Whether that be the pocketbook or flesh and whatnot, a little bit of pain is often the requisite cost for a new opportunity sometimes. And I'm not saying be masochistic, but again, to the motto, vici qui vici. If pain is what you fear and that's what's holding you back, maybe that's the exact area you need to challenge yourself in. For me, being productive in a hectic environment is kind of what I grew up around. Didn't grow up in a home that had a really strong organizational flow to it, or much organization at all. It was actually quite chaotic. So being able to maintain productivity in an environment that isn't sustainable to prolonged effort, you learn to be more efficient in other ways, whether that's just amount of effort in the front end or grit and determination to get through the frustration of not finding the resource you need, even though you know it's somewhere in the mess. But this is part of that process for me, overcoming that natural mentality to not set up structure, because you need it if you want to build something sustainable. That's just how the world works. You know, you have to have the resources available. So that's why you're getting a lot of cleaning videos and a reasonably detailed explanation. And it's good for me. Helps me practice that which I dislike, and helps me grow, overcome those things, and benefit all the way around. So, if anything else, I like to live. I don't, even though I'm sitting here preaching, I'm not, hopefully not preaching at anyone besides myself. Rather, explain my actions and live as an example, but by no means are the standards and practices I find normal or acceptable by any means requisite of anyone else. But I do hope to live as an example, to, I don't know, just be one more data point. That's kind of the way I've always viewed things as far as when it comes to evaluating my own behaviors and figuring out where I need to apply myself next. One is if I really have a strong, negative reaction to something, that right there, even though it might be healthy and natural, it's an opportunity for growth. So there might come a day, for me, there often is a day, that I look at it, engage it, just for the practical aspect of being exposed to it. I mean, we are capable of enduring discomfort. That is for sure. It's not a permanent stay, and there's benefit to be gained, whether that's just the lesson learned from the discomfort that's caused through natural failure, which can happen, and it's easily recoverable. It's a learning opportunity. Or the discomforts of a healthy engagement of, if you slam a hammer on your thumb, it's going to hurt for a good reason. Hopefully it's a training mechanism to be more careful next time. The slang forms thumb detectors for a reason. So, it's viewing life and the reality that pain isn't always a bad thing. It's a learning opportunity at the very least. That being said, it's not all about pain. We're not trying to build a masochistic mold here. That's also why you go through and do the work on the areas that you don't like, is so you can reap the reward and the benefit and the enjoyment of having those spaces available for more beneficial use. I mean, I don't think I have to go into details and extolling the virtues of organization and preparedness and planning. I hope those are self-evident. And if they aren't, then it'd take longer to explain them to you than I got, or wisdom to help you understand. So if those things aren't self-evident, then, well, we're a little bit farther apart, aren't we? But I don't think that's going to be the case for the most part. I don't think it's going to be the case for those watching these videos or staying engaged and involved or following what I do, because Lord knows it's boring. I think it's boring. Yeah, it's boring. But it's necessary, so we do it. It gets the job done. It accomplishes rule number 1. Having fun? Well, for me, that's this part. Sharing it with y'all. Gimme. Yeah, this whole area has gone through like 4 different revisions of incomplete modification. So, leftover speakers from a Raspberry Pi computer project for a flat screen and having internet access on the workbench so I can watch YouTube videos on how-tos or research or whatever while I'm doing a build project. Except it went through like 3 different revisions and it never was actually done well to begin with, so that's why all the different screens and a lot of hectic and chaos. But that chaos was also molded on purpose. I mean, it was a lot of me sitting around waiting for resources to come available on the free section of Craigslist. A bachelor can be quite productive if he's willing to spend some time searching those forums and being creative on different resources that can be acquired for free if you're willing to spend the time looking for them. which is the result of a lot of the cobbled together. I mean, this bench was built out of free stuff. Got the tabletop for free, got the leg post for free, welded up the extensions, got L brackets that I welded in extra supports for so it can take a full load. Yeah, I mean, it takes work and it takes planning, but it kind of gets cobbled together when you're not willing to throw any money at it. But that was the fun part of keeping oneself productive and entertained for high value applications, which isn't high cost. High value, which to me was no cost and still getting a beneficial result. Burp. But then when looking for high value stuff, you also get stuff like this, which are spark plugs, which are infinitely usable, except I don't have anything that needs these. So that's a lot of what most of my empire of dirt has become, is slightly useful things that I had an ambition for that I'm not currently using. And so at the time I didn't want to get rid of it because I knew I wasn't going to spend any money to replace it if I ever needed it. I just spend the time to go find it. But now, kind of flipping the script. That's the nice thing about being able to have, well, I struggle coming off as bragging. It's not my intent. But that is the catalyst for starting the YouTube channel or having the capacity to do so, is the house is paid off. And so that, with that being the catalyst, that's my point of reference. So yeah, the nice thing about having the house paid off is the time and finances it frees up, which means I can change the game. Hopefully to my benefit, which is I don't have to hoard and keep unnecessary things in case they become useful. Resistive control board for a old dead treadmill that I had in here that I took apart and scabbed parts for another project. There's still useful pieces in here, but I don't have any current use for them. So it goes. A year ago, it stayed. It's new, it's weird, I'm still adjusting to it. Definitely not a mold I'm used to, but it's a good change. It's kind of relieving, to throw away all this crap. Not having the burden of making it into something that it currently isn't. That's the other aspect of just applying your creativity, is you'll see opportunity in just about everything. I mean, at this point, I don't see the world as whole pieces. I see it as parts. All of which have infinite possibilities, which is exciting. But things get out of balance, and that's just so fun. Gotta put them back. Sometimes it means breaking stuff. This is fun. I don't know why this is fun. Yeah! Yeah! So thanks for asking. That's why you're getting so many cleaning videos. It's weird how I have to keep crossing the same bridge with myself. A lot of what I'm getting rid of, I have the initial mindset that I used to have to operate under, which is, you can't throw that away, it still has a valuable use. There's nothing wrong with this PVC fitting. But I'm having to continue to keep my mind on the transition that's been all a part of the plan, and that is, yes, but I don't have to be that frugal anymore. There are other resources now available that previously weren't. And, I don't know, it's hard. It's hard letting go of some things sometimes. I don't think I'm the only one that struggles with that. But I'm telling you, the only way I'm making it through this, and not just know it has value and putting it to the side and just shifting a pile from here to here, then here back over to here, and getting one or two things in there, is recognizing that the jobs are different now. It's hard changing your mindset, especially after you put it into years of practice, even when you know that's been the plan all along. But I'm learning, and I'm definitely learning to empathize with those that struggle with keeping that which isn't useful, just in case, because that's what I had to do to, or at least that what, I don't know if it was always had to do. I didn't have to keep wire bits on my desk, but that was the result of that mindset. Yeah, it's weird, but it's a good weird. It's one of those things that stop, let it challenge you, but keep focus on what the underlying value is. And for me, it's getting these spaces back to their prime working conditions so that I can utilize that which I've worked for as best I can. And having a workbench full of half-finished projects and junk doesn't honor that work that I've done ahead of time. It doesn't honor the kind of guy I want to be, or the example I want to be of a life I want to live. You know, it's good. It's good strain. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to strain, so long as you remember its purpose and you don't let that which resists you overcome the underlying value and goal you set out for. Which is, again, hearkening to my own rules. Get the job done. Have fun and be safe. This one's definitely a get the job done kind of day. Having fun. It's weird that I have anxiety over throwing away an ammunition case that came inside an ammo box for 9mm. You know, it's a very good organizer. It could be reused. It has value in other aspects. Am I currently using it to that avail? No. Could I? Sure. Will I? No. So it's trash. But to get there has resistance. It's weird. And it's dangerous for me, just for myself, to not flip to the other side of the scale and say, cull it all, empty the room, which also doesn't provide value. Staying on those middle grounds and getting the job done but maintaining the utility of the effort, it's a good kind of strain. It's one I'm definitely getting to work through today and get to share with y'all, and I don't know. Some days I think I'm crazy. Other days I find out the things that I think make me crazy make me normal. I think this might be one of them. I don't think I'm the only one that struggles with letting go from time to time, even when they know it's to their own benefit. But for those that do, it can be done. You don't have to like it, but you should do it. You'll be happier in the end. I am. Though it's irksome knowing what I've thrown away that's in perfectly good, usable condition. This makes me happier than anything in there. Another thing I found that I've kind of struggled with as far as when it comes to setting in organization is just that, bringing order out of chaos. And that's something I still struggle with. But for me, and I don't know if this is useful at all, but for me, the first step is simply making a step. Getting the job done has no measurement on efficiency. So if I need to move something around the room 6 times before I find a spot for it to be its home, that's what it takes. The job is get the room clear. Standing around and trying to find the perfect spot in the next movement, for me, doesn't work. Having goals with different priorities. First priority is clear the workbench. Then, after I've cleared the workbench, I can clear that table. Once that table is cleared and the things that can be culled or thrown away, the things that need to be stored, have a different spot, then I can move around and step by step get things organized. That's the process that works for me. I know some people can just walk into the room and pow, it's organized. Me, it takes a lot more time and effort. But it's well worth it, or at least that's what I got to keep telling myself. And, well, I believe it. Seeing is believing, doing it gives you the practice. And, yeah, to repeat myself, it brings me more happiness than anything in there. Sorry for the melancholy tone. I'm starting to realize, or just became aware of, how sobering it is to spend hours dealing with your own crap. I mean, it's not fun. Yeah, it's just doing a self-evaluation as I'm doing this work. If I were to describe my feelings, it's anxiety, melancholy for sure, just kind of meh. But it's good. It's weird to call that good, but it is. It's okay to feel kind of sour or down. It's okay to push through it and do the work you need to do to get the results that are beneficial. Not every day has to be a happy day for it to be productive. And for me, what really does help get me through it is remembering the why. All of which I think I've already stated. And preparing this house, getting the house paid off for me was a step one in preparing it for a family. And with that in mind, my future family shouldn't have to pay the burdens of the building cost. Getting these spaces in order so that I can start building those relationships and have them move in, and I don't know. I just know I should deal with my shit without getting too detailed or weird about it in future thought and application. I made a mess, clean it up. Yeah, we'll go with that. I had hopes for this video to be all like exciting, or I don't know, do some cool edits to make it somewhat entertaining, but I'll probably actually leave it, I don't know, given the way I feel now, probably fairly uncut. I don't think it's fair to, if the vlog is going to be about, my day-to-day kind of stuff and what I hope to build my house into, and how about some realism? All the projects aren't fun. Sometimes work is just work. Don't always have to smile about it. Sometimes you just have to grunt through it and get it done. When it's done, you can enjoy the benefit. That's cool. Found an old thank you note. It's from a friend and family from church. Says, John, thank you for sharing your time and experience installing new doors in our home. They had have an older home, some settling, and one of the benefits of learning to do things on your own and take care of the problems that you yourself create, or the problems that just simply crop up in your life, is you're in a position to help others. And this was a day I was able to do that. They needed some new doors hung in a bathroom and a downstairs basement, and I was able to do that for them. Take one of their sons along and show them something. That was worthwhile. But yeah, there's a kind of a realistic view of what tackling one of these projects is. I mean, it's more than just a mess that I have to jump into. And I guess that's kind of one of the things helping others is when you go and help somebody else tackle an area in their life, whether it's a yard work project or home organization, you have an advantage of you don't have the emotional attachment or burdens to make those critical decisions to bring that benefit in. When it's dealing with your own, it's a whole different ballgame. And for those that do struggle with that, you aren't alone, and you can do it. Welcome back. Ta-da! Can't even see this corner. Hang on a second. Hey-o. Check this out. I'll back up and give you kind of a full view of the room. Yeah, I know that corner's not dealt with yet, but the day's winding to the end, and I'll deal with that small corner a little bit later. But got my workout space back, got the shelving unit up, that whole backside cleared, got the workbench somewhat organized, mostly usable. Got the workout bike tucked in under there. Got the TV, everything's still going to be there. That's about as set up as about as set up as that gets. I don't do anything crazy with machines or free weights. I've always grew up wrestling, and the only physical fitness training I have is body weight stuff. So lots of push-ups, pull-ups, and sit-ups. Although I've been neglecting it for about 8 to 10 months. So got my spot. Going to get back at it. I'm going to grab the squiddo pod. Hang on. Give me this. I'm going to put you down for a second. What should I say? I want to talk at you as far as, got the project done. It's good to see it done. Yeah, very much so. One of the things I've been in the habit of over the years, and especially when engaging projects such as this, do a self-evaluation, kind of not necessarily before, but during, middle, and after. Measure yourself, see what you're doing, because when it comes to engaging areas that you don't like or bringing change, whether beneficial or otherwise, figuring that out only comes when you stop and take the time to take a measurement, both personally and your environment. Is it being benefited? Is it getting worse? So, yeah, I mean, I made mention of a realistic view, and I was stressed at the moment, and the realistic view wasn't all negative. I want to make that clear. And it's okay to go through, your own feelings and emotions when calling this stuff. It's part of the process. I couldn't, and part of that process is this. I want to tell you, I couldn't be happier with having a spot back. Nothing like having a place for the work you want to do, instead of having to shoehorn it in the midst of chaos and clutter. And that's the foundation of this project. It's the foundation of going through each room, each place, my shop, my garage, my basement, a bunch of other areas that I got a lot of work to do. And starting this up, got a lot of projects, and that's not a bad thing. Just making sure I stay on top of them instead of them on top of me. And this is kind of what it looks like for me, at least. So, yeah, thanks for joining me. Thanks for putting up with, just the whole bit. It's probably not going to be the most engaging video, but this is what it'll be. So, here's the next time being hopefully something a little more exciting, a little more fun. I got some opportunities coming up that I'm hoping pan out, but we'll see. Either way, I'll be sticking to the work that's right in front of me, the work I know I need to do around this place, as well as development and others. So I'll leave it at this. Remember, vici qui se vici. That is the motto of today, and will be for many more videos to come, and kind of the channel as it continues to take shape. So I'll leave it to that, and hopefully you can learn to apply it to yourself. Catch you later.